Hey, I have a second channel. Cube Compium TDX.
Hey everybody, so here we have this Asus laptop in for service. This is it's a model, looks to be X501A. The sticker's about worn off there. And the reason why it's in is the hard drive is failing and we need to replace it with a solid state drive. So yeah, the customer opted to go with an SSD. The main reason it came in for service is because it needs to just be cleaned up and have a fresh installed Windows. It currently has Windows 8.1 on it, which is like the Windows 8.1, and it's just got a lot of clutter. It really just needs a good, really could just use a good restore. So in the process, I checked out the health of the hard drive, and it's got bad sectors, which definitely would be contributing to this computer's slow performance. It's a Pentium dual core system, so definitely not the highest end out there, but not the lowest end either. So we'll start out by taking the battery loose. Here's our battery pack. And on this model, it looks like you take the bottom off to access everything inside. We'll just give it a try here. Just pull these screws out. Okay, so the keyboard and palm rest actually pop up like this, and it's going to look for cables. So there's actually plenty of slack on the cables. That just moves out of the way. Hard drive is right there. It's going to disconnect the ribbon cable for the keyboard and the trackpad. Okay, so now we have access to the motherboard, cooling fan, speakers, hard drive, all that good stuff. So this looks like one of the special models to where you would have to take the motherboard out to get access to the RAM. Yeah, guys, as I've expressed in previous videos when working on similar style laptops, I'm not a fan of that design. They should make it easier to get access to things like that. Alright, so go ahead and pop open this little connector here and take this cable loose because it's going over the hard disk. You get this little piece of tape here. And of course, that cable's going to keep trying to stick itself right back. Got this little piece of like masking tape here. So it looks like 2 screws come out, and then you can remove the hard disk. So I'm going to be backing up the files off this hard drive after it's been taken out of the computer. That way I can go ahead and start getting Windows 10 installed on this. And then I can recover the files. I can restore the files afterwards. Okay, so there's the hard disk drive. Go ahead and take it out of its little cage here. Of course, we'll take note of how the drive goes in here. It just lifts out. Set it off to the side. And we'll get our new solid state drive. So the computer actually had a 500 gigabyte hard drive in it, but for the owner's needs, they're actually going to be just fine with a 240 gig drive. So we're going to go with this 240 gig SSD. This one I already had in stock, so figured go ahead and use it. We got a PNY SSD there. Should definitely provide a nice performance boost to this computer. And at this point, it's really just the backward. It's really just the same method of disassembly except backwards. That pops back in like that. Stick this back in there. I think it was really just to hold the Wi-Fi antenna leads down. And stick this cable back in where it belongs. Just like that. Go ahead and plug in the ribbon cables for the keyboard and the trackpad. On a side note, it looks like this computer has definitely taken a spill in the past. Luckily, it's not like it was a small spill. It wasn't big enough to really get past the keyboard. The keyboard works okay still on this machine. Good thing it didn't get to the motherboard. Otherwise, it probably would have trashed the computer. You gotta be careful, guys, with your drinks around your computers, your laptop especially. Pop that back down. Looks like this computer has taken a fall before. That right there has come loose. A piece of plastic that used to have a screw go around it. So chances are one of these screws are probably not going to go back in. Yeah, there was a small crack in the lid bezel, so this thing definitely has taken a drop before. Yes, that one right there. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to just line that piece back up in there. That way, in an attempt to put the screw back in its spot. That way there'll still be some reinforcement there. And we'll continue putting the screws back in as usual. Now I should note there's a bigger screw here and a bigger screw over here, but the rest of them are pretty small. Okay, so the drive has been swapped out. So we're going to put the battery back in and plug this thing into a power source, and then we can get Windows 10 installed on here. Okay, now we got the solid state drive installed, go ahead and run installation of Windows 10. We'll see if this flash drive is set up where it can boot into UEFI or not. There we are. So we'll go ahead and select 64-bit. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and select next here. Install now. Now, most of the time on Windows 8 and Windows 10, Windows 11 computers, OEM systems that came pre-installed with Windows, generally they have a product key embedded in the system BIOS. Again, that's generally the case. Sometimes it will not detect it in setup. In this case, it's not doing it. So, you have to kind of determine what version of Windows you have manually. So we know this computer came with Windows 8 Home. And that's because the little Windows sticker on the bottom of the machine says Windows 8. It don't say Pro, it just says Windows 8. And of course, Windows 10 computers, it will say just Windows. And I think that's probably going to be the case for Windows 11 as well. But if the system in question on the bottom has the Windows sticker that says Pro Windows 8, or with this HP laptop here, it says Pro Windows, you know that you have a license for a Pro version of Windows. So in that case, you would select the Pro version. But this Asus laptop has a Home license. It came with Windows 8 Home. So we'll select one of the product key. And you can see Windows 10 Home is selected. Select Next. Accept license terms. Choose Custom here. Now, another way to verify that you're installing Windows as GPT is by selecting New here. When you select New, it's going to set up the default partitions for a boot drive. And you can see we have a primary partition, which is highlighted. We also have a MSR partition and a system partition, so we know in this case that it's set up as UEFI. Now if it was MBR, you would have just a primary partition and you'd have a system reserve partition. It's been that way since Windows 7, and I think some versions of Windows Vista even did that, some flavors of Vista, but it wasn't retail. But yeah, Windows 7 and later would generally set up that way for MBR, but in this case doing GPT, so you can see that it's doing things the proper way. So select Next, and we're going to let this install.
Hi there, I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help. A little sign in here, a touch of Wi-Fi.
Shut up. Okay, so I'll select United States here because we're in the US, at least in this location. Select yes here, skip. Not connected to the internet right now. Put in the person's name. Turn off all these. You know, because when it's set up, doesn't bother to ask the important questions like, what time zone are you in, or what would you like to name the computer, you know, stuff like that. Just like the video I posted recently, remember when Microsoft Windows as a pro user? I mean, this is a fine example of it right here, guys. Bypass the hi, we're happy you're here. See if we can stop OneDrive from installing. This thing is so fast. It may have just installed, I don't know. But we'll go ahead and hook this up to the internet, and then we'll have to check for Windows activation. Make sure it did indeed pick up the license, which I think it did. The reason why I'm thinking this is because once the system got out of setup, you may have noticed how the Asus logo started showing in the boot screen. I mean, we shall see. I'm gonna select no just because I don't want to install all my stuff on here. So get rid of all this clutter on. Oop, hit the wrong thing. Get rid of all this clutter on the taskbar. Turn off notifications. I mean, this is a computer, not a phone. Yeah, I tell you guys, the trackpad on this laptop is definitely not the greatest out there. Your activation. You see it just activated right there. So it is activated with the license now. That was one thing we definitely had to check. So at least for this point, the computer's going to finish installing drivers and software, and I'm going to finish installing some stuff on here, and then I'll recover the person's files. In other words, restore them back to this machine, and then it'll be good to go. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.
Well, everybody, that wraps it up for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the computer channel, and be sure to tick that bell so you'll get notified when new videos are posted. Also, don't forget, I have a whole lot of other interesting videos here on the channel to check out. And also, in addition, I have a second channel, CubeCompMTDX, where I have all sorts of other videos not exactly related to technology. Links to the channels are available at the end of this video. Again, I thank you for your support, and thanks for watching this video.